use that switch.
What's up, guys? We're live. Say hi in the comments. Let us know who's watching.
It's almost like LinkedIn that. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
like
you're-
yeah, it was nasty.
I feel like you want to be careful in case like you threw your shirt, right?
Oh, it was a guy who was straight brawl. It was like round 3.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Because both of you just flailing, or you're both
And this guy was on all the outside. Like
all
just, yeah.
strap it every day.
He's trapped, straps and his legs are, yeah.
Actually, I can see it probably being pretty effective for hooks because you don't have the ability to get too loose. So
Yeah,
it's
you
just,
can't
it's just naturally so stiff. Yeah, your shirts are like, this is as straight as you can possibly get. Just here. Oh,
We're talking about good striking that you always see, and
Good technique.
everybody's great.
Classic. Chuck Liddell haymakers and
Yeah, those are pretty good.
you know what? You gotta feel. Remember seeing one where he got like on his back foot? He like knocked some guy out.
Some guy, almost every guy.
Oh, really? Oh,
Almost
that's
everyone
exactly
can
one.
run away. Oh, yeah.
It's a tip, dude. Have to pull it up.
Oh, man.
Oh my god.
There you go. I definitely want that thing.
There it is. Your everyday life. You don't realize. This has real application for if you're willing to cultivate an abusive household. These are it's horrible. It's too well done. Yeah. Definitely. You apply classic parent technique. Classic. That's your fault. It's your fucking name.
Is it? I thought I got it. Yeah.
Counter's leave now.
Yeah. It's how I sacrifice for my team. I just willingly allow physical.
We got it.
What can arguably be
What's cooking, good lookins?
arguably physical
I can't do a backflip.
with blood.
You should hit up your buddy Brandon.
Should just start bleeding everywhere. This is how I like my territory.
This is how sanitary we are. We bleed the tiniest bit and we clean this stuff up.
Yeah. No COVID-19 here.
Not right there, anyway.
There it is. That's good.
And that is how you take care of a scratch on your foot.
Thank you. See.
Oh, you got 50 on Connor. What's that about?
For bleeding out?
He's already bleeding. Why are you putting money on him?
I think I can take him. I just have to get a body shot out. That's it. And then his wrestling will slow down a little bit at least.
Daniel says it's 50.
Well, I can actually be here before 4 times, so I just contribute more, so.
All right, who do we got? Let's see. We got
Jorge. Don't
Jorge,
have Daniel. He's talking crap over here.
Hunter Mitch, John Doe. That's Daniel, right?
Yeah.
John Doe. Okay, cool. Golden, what's up? Kevin, Michael, you two write one after another again. It's crazy. John Doe, I got 50 on Connor. Who's Connor fighting?
Me.
Oh, you?
That's what he was saying.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Conor McGregor.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Kevin and I didn't plan that one. Yeah, but it's not just today. It's every single time we have a live stream. It's just Kevin signs in and says hi, and then Michael signs in and says hi. It's the craziest thing. What's up, Brian? Yeah, Tri-Sync Assistant. Yep. Yeah, so it's all we can do right now, guys. All we can do is do our best to Tri-Sync Assistant. So keep an eye on your emails this weekend. I'm going to be sending out our reopening plan. It's going to be rolled out in phases. We're going to be following CDC guidelines as best as we can. Yeah. It's important to me that we're not endangering anybody at the gym other than these two, which so anyway, keep an eye on your emails. We're going to be releasing our detailed plan about how we're going to be reopening and reinstituting classes and what the timeline is going to look like and what classes are going to be like, because once we reopen, it's not going to be just business as usual. Like I said, your safety and your family's health is my number one concern. So we understand that providing you guys with jiu-jitsu and martial arts training is very important to your lives, but we need to figure out how to do that in the safest way possible. So anyway, on with the lesson. So Daniel, rolling with masks on electric cardio. Yeah, you guys can pick up a training mask. They fit over your mouth, and they have these little plugs on the side that make it harder to breathe. And they're fantastic for cardio. So if you want to pick up one of those, it's probably a decent idea. Either way, we will be wearing masks when we reopen, and we're going to start with no contact training, then move to light contact training, and then progress from there until hopefully we can get back to business as usual. But like I said, we're going to do that in a responsible way because your health and your family's health is our number one concern. Okay? So we all saw that. All right. So all right, so we got a request today for the Japanese necktie. The Japanese necktie is a choke that's set up from the vice grip. So you can set it up pretty much anytime you can put a vice grip in on someone and you're on top. So let's look at the turtle position. So this partners very well with the Darce choke. Usually when I attack the Darce first, and then if I can't lock in the Darce all the way, that's when I'm going to turn into a Japanese necktie. All right. Connor's doing his sign language lesson over here. So Nick is going to start with a vice grip. He takes the body that's over the back and moves it to the other side and goes under Connor's armpit right there. Notice when he does that, he drops the ear to the back. He wants to maintain contact along Connor's back like that, just to make sure he's not taking his weight off his partner. Okay, because if he just takes his head off and just reaches under, Connor's just going to sit up. Yeah, exactly. So when we do this, he's resting his weight on his armpit. He takes the arm to the other side as he drops his head down and puts the vice grip in. Now, you're pulling that vice grip towards you and circling. That's how you bump them forward. That's how you knock them over to their side, is that circling motion. That's how you make this effortless. If you just try to push and pull, that's when people are able to stick with you and stay on their knees for a long period of time, and now you can get just as worn out. So if Nick just starts pushing and pulling, Connor can stay on his knees. Connor.
No, that was me. I did
Okay, he did it correctly. All right, cool. Yeah. All right, so Connor's trying to stay on his knees. Nick is just kind of pushing and pulling and cranking like that. It's not going to work. But if he pulls the head and rotates, that's when Connor can't handle it anymore. Okay? Same thing if Nick was doing it to me. We need to make this work regardless of how big your opponent is. So that's why circling is the way to go. It requires the least amount of strength at all, and you can do it to anybody, any size. Okay? So now once he's on his side, we're setting up the Darce choke. All right? So normally from the Darce choke, we use that vice grip to pull the head underneath us, palm the head with your left hand, and reach the right hand through deeper. Now, there is such thing as going too deep on the Darce. You don't want to go all the way through so his neck is here. you want the carotid artery right on the midpoint of your forearm. Okay, so we're pushing this through because usually people are shallow. They end up on the back of their hand or very shallow on the wrist on the neck. You want to push it through so that the midpoint of the forearm gets to that carotid. There, you can see it a little bit better now. Go back to the vice grip.
Give them a real point.
There we go. There we go. This is that premium subscription here.
All
right. Vice grip pulls that head underneath you, and then you palm and bring that hand through. Now we switch to that arm triangle grip. From here, it's important that we get our head on the shelf. So he gets down so he can get his ear on the shoulder blade. And now he gets to a 45-degree angle with Connor. Gets on his toes and rocks in. Right there. Freedom rocking the wrist in order to get the tap.
North 360 cameras.
Our audio's looking good on this side, Dave. Maybe try logging in and out really quick. Anyway, so that is the basic Darce choke. That's kind of what sets this up. By aggressively attacking the Darce, we can lead into a much better Japanese necktie. If you only go for Japanese neckties, people tend to leave themselves open for an easier escape. Yes.
Do you have some other Darce finishes that you want to share? Can you share?
Darce setups or finishes?
Finishes, like positioning wise. Like rather than just a sprawl out, dropping the head low.
Oh, like going to mount?
Sure. That
Cool.
kind of stuff.
All right,
Finishing from your knees, getting it tight.
So really, there's
You can do one.
there's basically plank, the mount, the squeeze, and then the roll. So there's basically 4 ways you can finish a Darce. So let's look at that really quick. Good thing to write down. Chew up some time too. All right, so the standard way of finishing the Darce is in a plank. All right, so that's what Nick just did. So let's look at the positioning here. He gets to the vice grip, side mount, right here. Good. He pulls the head, arm triangle position. Now he's going to get into a plank and walk to a 45-degree angle. Right here. So this is the planking version. He's going to rock in on his toes, freedom rock the wrist as he clinches upwards, and leans in on his partner for the tap. This is our standard version because it uses the most gravity. All right, it's the most effortless version of the choke. Okay, so that's version number 1. Version number 2. So he's in the vice grip. Okay, for this one, he's going to pull the head in, reach extra deep through. Good. Now get that arm triangle. Now this point, he's going to slide his knees as tight as he can to Connor. Yep, nice and wide. Okay. Now what he's going to do, it's all about curling. Both arms are going to curl in, and he's going to sit his butt to his heels, pulling Connor into his lap as he goes. Yeah, right there. That's it. So that is the seated version of the Darce. And Chris Herzog and his guys are masters at this version. I'm not as much of a fan because it's a lot of this type of strength. But hey, if you can curl a lot, go for it. That's your strength.
Last 2 months, that's all you've been doing.
Last 2 months, just in your living room, just curling. Just like, oh, Darce is coming up. Just Darces. What's up, Donald? What's up, Chetler? Oh, yeah. Absolutely. So this is another valid way of finishing the Darce. Sitting your butt to your heels, curling both arms up into you here, and sitting him into your lap. Okay? Yeah, I know, right, Dave? We don't need to give Gold more tools. He's not logged in here, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Great.
Just kidding. It's all fake. Don't do that. Just kidding. It's all fake.
All right, so that was version number 2. Version 1, plank. Version number 2, seated. Version number 3. Nick is going to get this locked in. It's the arm triangle. Boom. Now, Connor's medium.
Medium. Okay.
Yeah. Actually, no. Deep. Now, if Nick goes extra deep here, His best choice is now to step over and mount his partner. So he can step over a knee slide, yep, here, and put his forehead on the ground. Right there. Now it's all a matter of sucking everything in towards his belly button. Right there.
Yeah.
See how it goes from to
Yeah.
like a split second?
Yeah, that's.
Yes, that's what we're looking for there. So that is the mounted version of the Darce. For each one of these, you'll notice you're lining up your forearm at a different depth. Okay. Finally, we have the rolling Darce. All right. Oh, what's up, Bianca? Good to see you, man. Yeah, this was a very aggressive tap. All right, so Nick gets into the Darce vice grip position right here. All right, now he's going to fall. Which way are you rolling? You want to roll over the top?
You can go underneath.
All right, go
See
underneath.
the camera.
Yep, go underneath. I'll make sure the camera stays on you. All right, so he sits to his hip, rolls Connor over the top. Yep, all the way. All the way through. Right here. And
We're starting to run into the camera here.
yeah. Let's start again. Let's start again. There we go. Now we got all kinds of room.
Oh, room for activity.
So much room for activities. All right, so Nick is going to sit through right here. Now he's just going to walk on his side. Walk. Don't roll all the way over, Connor. Yeah, right here. So turn on your side, Nick.
Here.
The other side.
Yep.
Yeah, right there. Now walk. That's it. That is the rolling Darce. For that one, you're trying to get on your side, and then you're walking your feet into your partner. Okay, he gets the vice grip, falls to his side, right here. Now right here, walking into his partner. Walk. Exactly. The arm that's reaching through to create the arm triangle, that's the shoulder you want to be on when you're going through the rolling Darce. So those are the 4 different versions of the 4 different ways that you can finish the Darce choke. Each one has its advantages. That rolling Darce is great for scrambles. It's great from the front headlock position. It's great. It incorporates itself very well into wrestling. The planking Darce is the most efficient. You're going to use the least amount of strength because you're using the most amount of gravity. So you're going to burn the least amount of energy. That's always a bonus. The seated Darce, that's your power version. That's your power Darce. That's probably my personal least favorite. Levi loves it. We're probably going to have some people try it out when we get back here. And like I said, Chris Herzog and his guys that's their go-to. And then the last one was the mounted version. Watch Boogie and Geo. That is their go-to version. For that one, you got to get extra deep. Donald, if you're having trouble with your partner, can you hook their top leg to pull them? Yes, absolutely. It's not necessarily to pull them. It's just to stop them from moving away from you. So let's go over that real quick. So Nick hits the rolling Darce. Roll right to his side. Yes. So freeze right here. See, his right arm is the one going underneath the neck, and the left arm is the one completing the arm triangle. So he wants to get on his right shoulder. I'm sorry, your left. Yeah. I'm looking at the camera.
I was watching you do that.
His left arm is through, and then the right arm is there. So he wants to get on that shoulder. The arm that's coming around the neck, that's the shoulder he wants to be on. Okay, now Connor can loosen the choke by walking away from Nick as Nick is walking into him. Okay, so what Donald was bringing up was right here, freeze. Nick can catch one of those legs. Doesn't matter, top or bottom. That's just going to stop Connor from moving away from him so he can keep pressuring in right there. So yes, that's a very good point, Donald. You can hook either their top leg or their bottom leg. It's not necessarily to pull them. It's just to connect yourself to them so that they can't move any further away. Things should only get tighter from there once you hook the leg. Okay? So this is going to now take us right to the main thing I wanted to cover today was the Japanese necktie. Because the Japanese necktie, you keep the vice grip. You don't move to the arm triangle. And you have to hook one of their legs. Okay? So let's look at this real quick. Vice grip position. Yes, head pointing directly at us, Connor. Perfect. No problem, Donald. All right. So with this one, once that vice grip is locked in, it should be all systems go. And by all systems go, I don't mean pedal to the metal, go as hard as you can. I mean, you're in check. All right. Now you have to check, you have to catch either one of their legs with your back leg. Okay. So let's rotate for a second so they can see. So right now that's Nick's left leg. He's going to catch either Connor's top or bottom leg. And now he's going to cross his ankles or triangle. Either one of them. He needs to have a leg under his control. Okay. Now come back to where you guys were. Thank you. Vice grip. Good. Keep those wrists bent on the vice grip. That's crucial. Next, he steps over, traps the leg. Once he has his legs crossed, whether it's ankles crossed or a triangle, now we're in checkmate. Okay? From here, use that vice grip to pull the head underneath, and he's now going to fall to that right shoulder. Right there. Right now, Connor's head is on Nick's stomach. The back of his head is on his stomach. Rewind. So Nick is using that vice grip to pull Connor's head in. And right now, he's got that forearm on top, on the back side of Connor's head. He's going to replace that with his stomach. So when Nick falls to his side, he's falling all the way to his shoulder. You're alive? He falls to his shoulder, and his stomach takes the place of that forearm. So the grip is actually going to slide just a couple inches, and the V part of the grip here, the V part of the grip is going to be on the carotid. Now he's keeping control of that leg, and he's now going to push on the back of Connor's head with his stomach as he pulls on the vice grip.
I'm feeling like that. I'm sitting on his arm.
Okay.
Oh.
You all right?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm sitting on his arm. Like, I'm not even feeling that.
Let's do that again.
Ball tackle.
He had his hand ready.
Yeah,
It was good.
Oh,
Cool.
I couldn't see it. I felt.
All right.
Thanks for Thank you. Oh,
So we're in the vice grip.
Yeah.
We step over either leg, top leg or bottom, whatever's the easiest to hook up. He's going to pull in on the head on the vice grip and fall to his shoulder, replacing his forearm with his stomach. Now he's going to hip in, push in with his stomach as he pulls on the vice grip. There's the tap. I think Boogie's had like 6 or 7 MMA fights, and 4 or 5 of them were wins by Japanese necktie. It's crazy. It was this is just like his most powerful technique because his arms are so long, and even for how tall he is, his forearms are about 2 inches longer than they should be, even given how tall he is. So imagine Connor's lankiness, but add 2 inches to his forearms. That's what Boogie's built like. Okay, so this is just such a dangerous technique because he can weave those forearms into place, and there's so much leverage when he locks that vice grip. It's just end of the story. It's just done. Okay, so let's look at what happens. I want to say yes.
Yeah, it's one of the Royal Oak crew.
Probably. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he sweats him, like put him to sleep.
You can very easily put someone to sleep with this. This is a very unorthodox technique. As far as I know, 10th Planet is one of the associations that really like took this on as like a main attack, a main part of their arsenal. So you see 10th Planet guys landing this all the time, and I don't really see a lot of other people going for it. I didn't say anything. All right, so go ahead. Let's look at that again. Let's look at what happens.
I drove by a guy with the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu on his truck. I was this close to just being like, access
All right, so let's look at what happens if Nick doesn't hold on to one of those legs. If he just falls into the necktie.
So if I just fly.
Yeah, you get the vice grip, you pull it in, you fall to your side.
White belt it?
Yeah, you white belt it. Right now, he doesn't have either of Connor's legs. Okay, he can apply pressure all he wants, but Connor's just going to turn to his side and get on top. Yeah.
yeah,
This technique dissolves very quickly if you don't have one of their legs. Okay, so let's look at that again. Counter gets to his back and then rolls up on top. So he pulls here, falls to his side, counter gets to his back, and rolls right up on top. It's like it's free. It's like they just gave it to you. So make sure you have the leg. And if you ever get caught in a Japanese necktie, your number one defense is to pick the lock with the leg. And yes, Yankee, you can switch north-south, but there's a very small window for it. Okay, so let's look at that again. So the defense for Japanese necktie, don't fight the grip. You're never going to break their vice grip. Okay?
To actually get the necktie.
Yeah, get the full necktie with the leg.
Okay.
Right here. He falls to his side. Now Connor's got a free leg. He's going to use his free leg to pry his other leg out of there. Now from here, he goes back to the mat and then gets up on top of his partner. Right there. That is your number one escape to the Japanese necktie. Get the leg out, and then you can roll up on top of them. Worst case scenario ends up as a scramble. Now, there's always a counter to the counter and a counter to the counter to the counter. So there's a very small window where you can make a transition north-south when they go for this escape. Okay, but it's all a matter of the placement of your torso and centering your weight. Okay, so let's look here. Vice grip. Pull the head, trap the leg. Wait.
Oh.
Yeah, do the thing. Do the thing.
Okay.
Do it properly. He traps the leg, falls to his side. Okay, Connor is going to pry his leg out and flatten his back to the mat. Freeze. Move your legs, Nick, for a second. Yeah. So right here, this is that window. This is that window. Nick needs to get his top elbow to the mat and his chest on top of Connor here. Right there. Okay. Now we can start looking at an arm across north-south choke. Okay. So he can go for the tap right here, dropping that shoulder into Connor's chest. And there's the tap. But again, that's a very small window. And the fact that Connor is moving out in that direction makes it a very slippery position to hold on to. Okay. So this is something that you're going to have to practice. Not something that you can see and then say, oh yeah, I go for that. You're going to have to actually practice that transition a couple times. They escape, you center your weight and hold them down. They escape, you center your weight, hold them down. Don't go for the choke immediately. Make sure that they're not going anywhere and you've locked down that north-south position. Okay? So great question, Yanko, and good point to bring up. So that is kind of our little primer on the Japanese necktie and the darce. These are two very important techniques. If at any point the Japanese necktie is not working for you, get back on top of them. Okay, so right here. Nick is going for the Japanese necktie. He traps the leg properly. Falls to his side. Connor's gargling. He's almost got the tap, but he doesn't quite have it. He feels his grip starting to loosen up. He's getting tired. So from here, he's going to get back to his knees. Knee slide past that leg. Yep. And now go back to attacking the darce. Exactly. Oh, he's going power version.
George did that stuff a while back.
Yeah. So any version of the darce afterwards. But either way, don't hold on to a Japanese necktie if you feel it starting to break. Okay, if you feel them picking the lock on the legs. You got to get back up on top, maintain dominant position, and look for the darce choke because that is also right there. And if your arms are tired, just hold on to that vice grip. Okay, you can conserve a lot of energy there, and they're struggling. Okay, so that is it for today, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. We have another live stream Saturday at 6 p.m. We got more leg lock techniques coming your way for the daily technique emails. So keep an eye on that. And like I said, we're going to have our official reopening plan released this weekend. So we'll keep all of you guys informed about when we're going to be opening up, how we're going to be opening up, what that's going to entail, what we're going to be doing as staff to make sure that we provide the safest training environment possible and what we expect from students coming in, because you're going to have to play a part too, in order to keep this as a safe experience for everybody moving forward. So thank you guys very much. We miss all of you, and we look forward to the day where we can all come back in here and start training again. So thank you guys. Oh, there. Wait. Got how many you got, Connor? Oh, there it is. See you guys.